proud na maging isang Filipino. I used to be a magician. I was a DJ and a magician, primarily just to meet girls. The doctor said, you'll never be able to walk again. Mr. Siervo, you will never be able to walk again. Multiple 7-figure portfolio, multiple properties. I traveled everywhere around the world. I've flown first class. All of that stuff, it doesn't mean anything.
Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Welcome to the CHERIE MERCADO podcast. Ang guest natin sa araw na ito, he's an entrepreneur, an author, a podcast host, a former finance executive. He built a long career in institutional finance before branching out into real estate, consulting, digital media, community leadership. And recently, he returned to the Philippines after years of living in Canada. In this conversation, we'll get to know Michael Siervo. Hi, Michael.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
How should I call you? Michael?
Michael is fine, yeah.
Michael.
Yeah. First of all, before we even begin, congratulations on you. I was reading you were awarded top reporter.
I was.
A few years ago. Wow. Golden Dove Award.
That was quite a way back when I was with CNN Philippines.
Yeah.
But thank you so much.
No, good for you. Enough about my accolades. Yours are good too. So thank you for having me.
Let's talk about the now first, because there's very recently you moved to the Philippines. How will you describe yourself now? For those who are listening and who don't know you, how will you introduce yourself or describe yourself?
For the last 20 years, I've been focusing on business. I spent a lot of my time building businesses. My claim to fame years ago was I took a very small territory in Western Canada. I became the first visible minority and Filipino in one of the largest financial institutions in Canada. Took a small little firm from 19 million to 4 billion. It's a pretty big jump. We did that. There's a long story behind that journey because it was an interesting one. And then after almost 20 years of the financial services industry, I said, you know what? My heart is no longer there. I have my own particular challenges within the financial services industry, but I felt if you want to leave an impact on the world, what's the best way I can do that? And I felt it was on the creativity side. So during the pandemic, I started a media company, primarily just because I wanted free media editing, free videographers, free graphic designers, because I wrote a book. And then from there, that little side hustle turned into a real hustle. And then I retired last year from the financial services industry, still a little bit in there in terms of consulting. But my entire team, most of my team, like 90% of my team is in the Philippines. So by virtue of having them there, I went back to the Philippines, completely fell in love with it. So most people would see me, if you knew me 20 years ago, I'm very Canadian. And as we spoke prior to this, the podcast showing, it's like, I'm very proud Filipino. So for us, my wife and I, to be traveling there on a regular basis, we fall in love with it more and more. But I'm Filipino, entrepreneur, someone who believes in the betterment of society, a hopeful person, positive person. And I just want to leave a good dent in the universe as best as possible.
We'll start with the Philippine chapters. You put up a business in the Philippines. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I think one of the things what I've noticed in the Philippines is there's a lot of talent there. And oftentimes here in North America, we didn't know. We always see people in the Philippines as caregivers, nurses, they work in fast food, Tim Hortons. But there's an immense amount of talent in terms of media. Some of the best media edits, movie edits are coming from the Philippines. So incredible singers, incredible graphic designers, artists. So when I went there, I was like, oh, this is incredible. It would be remiss if I'd be remiss to not take advantage of this, to not learn from them.
So it's a media production company that's now...
It's interesting because the world is moving so fast. It started off just doing websites. Start off as websites. Then we started off doing edits for for videographers, mainly weddings and events and real estate. And these editors are insanely good. So if you're just doing video edits, like there's more that they can do. So they start to reach into other areas. So let's do TikTok, talking head stuff, influencers. So our company started to do social media editing.
You had a rich experience in having global clients during your years as a banker.
Yeah, I found that the perception of Filipinos was different, right? And what I wanted to do was lift them up. I saw that, I mean, we could go into a deep conversation about exploitation. I'm very passionate about this, that they're driving wages down, right? They're outsourcing video editing, virtual assistant, paying them like $3 an hour, $5 an hour. How can you survive in the Philippines for $3 an hour? I didn't like that exploitation. So I said, I'm going to have a business in the Philippines. I'm going to pay them fair, pay them a little bit more, because if you have less stress about your income, when you're less stressed, you're going to do your best work. Now you could go home, sleep. You don't have to work 16 hours a day. They come back. They're loyal to me.
And you can get the best out of your employees as well.
Yeah. I think the number one stress in any relationship is finances. So if I could help at least pay them fairly, I could relieve that stress. Maybe I can help them. And so we started our little media company from, I think it was like 3 people. Now we have a team of over 20 and counting. So I was in the car here. I interviewed 2 people before I walked in here. And it's just unbelievable. I want to hire everybody. I just can't. Hopefully one day.
And what prompted that decision to put up a business in the Philippines? You grew up here.
Yes.
You were born and raised here. When was the first time you ever set foot on the motherland?
Oh, decades ago. So decades ago, I went there, but my recollection...
That wasn't the time when it sparked...
No. It was like
something.
It was not clean. I remember seeing it was very dirty. It was very poor. This is my recollection. So I never thought that there was talent in there until, around the pandemic. So around the pandemic, I started to launch my book. I wrote a book. Once the pandemic ended, I flew there. I had to see these people. I had to meet them. And then you see like places like BGC. BGC is world class. I think in North America, we still think that it's a third world country, but they are more advanced than us. So if anyone is watching
in some ways,
us,
that's true.
very advanced. I mean, every society has their shortcomings, but the Philippines is very inspirational. I could go into the inspiration that I get from Filipinos. Last year, I was there 4 times. Within 12 months.
In 1 year.
1 year, 4 times. We invested in multiple different businesses in real estate. Your earlier question, what brought you there? The honest answer, it was 1, cheaper labor, right? So cheaper labor doesn't mean exploitation.
Yeah.
So it's cheap labor.
Yeah.
Very talented. 2,
appreciate the
it's
honesty.
just, so I went there. So it's cheap labor. It's easier for me to get edits. Then I realized I should pay them more because they're worth more. If you don't let people know what their value is, it's a race to zero. And if I'm, a North American guy saying, you're worth this, they feel good about themselves. They're loyal. So we invested in real estate. We got involved in a bunch of different other contracts there. And on top of that, the food was really good. I don't like the food here in North America. I love the farm to table aspect. The lifestyle in the Philippines is it's on another level. Another big thing that most happened recently is my love of culture. I didn't have one. I didn't have a connection. And then you start to say, wow, these guys look like me. They have the same problems that I have. And if I could inspire them, maybe I could uplift them from their current situation. So I became a mentor to many people. I've spoken on countless stages in front of thousands of people. Yeah, it's been a fun journey.
But before that even happened, before you got to that point where you can be a mentor, I know this is a big question. I'm thinking of where to start, but what made you the person that you are today? What made you have that capital to put up businesses, for example, and what are the challenges? It's a huge question, right? I'm practically asking you about your whole life before today.
I'm wondering, Cherrie, are you going to try to make me cry this early in the podcast? Because the honest answer is, when I was younger, I remember I was 13 years old. All of my friends are Filipino. Some of them are born in the Philippines. Some of them are born in Canada. We were walking to my parents' house. And I remember my parents' house is a fairly sizable house. It's not upper middle class. The friends I was walking with are Filipino born. And I remember I could hear them. They're sa likod. So they're behind me. And they said, hindi siya like us. They said, he's not like us. That moment, I didn't feel Filipino afterwards. I'm like, my friends are Filipino, but they don't see me. I'm not Filipino enough. So for decades, I said, no, I'm Canadian. But then I start to see the hardworking work ethic of my mother. So this is where I'm trying not to get emotional, is because my mother was the one that inspired me. She's hardworking. She gives back to the community. And then I start to look at other Filipinos. I said, oh, Dr. Faye Del Mundo, she's the first doctor from Harvard University in 1936, created the Philippines Children's Medical Center in 1940. Wow, that's amazing. What other Filipinos are there? Oh, karaoke was created by Filipino. The two-way video conferencing, telephone calls, 1955, was a Filipino guy named Gregorio Zara. So wow, there's so many amazing Filipinos. Wow, how come my perception when I was a child was that I'm not Filipino enough? Then I started to fall in love with the culture. So despite the fact that my shortcomings, I can't speak fluently, I can understand. Right? And when you understand the language, then you start to understand the culture a little bit more. You understand the people. And I think you have more empathy. I encourage anyone who's Filipino, born here, go travel to the Philippines. See where your parents came from. See the life. We're very privileged. And so my mission was, I just want to connect with my roots and find the inspiration and hopefully inspire others to do the same thing.
How important is that for someone who was born here or born outside of the Philippines? You've already, like you, some of them have already their own brand of success. How important is it to still know your roots?
I think in life, it's so important to know where you came from in order to know where you're going. It's like you can't build a house on weak foundation. But you can't, right? So as a person who is going through their own personal journey, so I went through some difficult times. I lost 7 figures in a business deal. I had some challenges with my wife. By the time I was 20 years old, I was physically disabled. I wasn't supposed to walk, right? The doctor said, you'll never walk again. All these trials and tribulations I went through. I'm very open about this. I struggle through mental health and depression, which is something that not only men, but also Filipinos, we don't talk about this stuff. So I was fighting some of these things quietly, right? And I realized my wife is going through some challenges ourselves. And you need to find out who you are, like who you are from the beginning, right? I joke around with this. I said, everyone has to be an alpha. But an alpha, Cherry, doesn't necessarily mean that you're the big muscular guy in the gym who walks around and picks up all the girls. That's not what alpha is. If you look at the word alpha, it's beginning, like alpha and omega, beginning and end. Alpha is who were we at the beginning before society, manipulated the way we think. If you're a baby and you want milk, you ask for it, right? If you're a child and you want something, you cry or you do something. If you are learning to walk, you fall, you get back up. But somewhere when we're 8 years old or 9 years old, we start to become nahihiya, right? We start to think that society, we start to care about what people think. And I always go, in a long-winded answer, I decide to go back to my roots. I just start to why did my parents came from here, from a different country, barely spoke the language. That must be scary. If they can do it, why am I so scared of things? Why am I so scared to put my hand up in class? Why am I so scared to start a business? That's nothing compared to what my parents did, compared to what you did. That's nothing, right? So sometimes people like me, and I speak on behalf myself, we are privileged. I could call someone walang accent, right? I have public speaking skills. Thankfully, I'm okay looking. I'm not super tall, right? There are other people who take for granted their skill set, their ability to do these things. And I just don't want to waste them. I don't want to waste my parents' sacrifice because I'm scared. Right? I'm not doing them any justice.
Oh, no, that's beautiful. And in that part where we go back to our roots, somewhere in our being, the cells that we're made of, were born out of a certain energy from your ancestors, from the connection that you have with your lineage, and that will keep calling to you, right? Wherever you are in the world, wherever you're born, you will. There's something about connecting with your roots that maybe, and it also happens in middle age for a lot of people, and that's just the right time to find your roots, because it's a time when you try to really solidify your purpose, right? And you can really just do that once you know. Like what you said, you have to have a strong foundation to be able to contribute and be fully serving of what you were put on this earth for.
Right. I think you're right. You nailed it, that at middle age, full disclosure, everyone, middle age, right? at middle age, you have that wisdom, you have that experience, you have a little bit, hopefully we have more confidence, but you start to think about the pursuit of happiness. What does happiness mean to you? And it's not necessarily acquisition of material things. It is, in my opinion, it is, what is, how am I live through mottos. I have lots that I, like around 10 of them. You know, how do you leave the world better than you found it? Well, okay, how am I going to do that? Well, inspire as many people as you can and create a safe environment. Okay, well, how do I create a safe environment? Start up a company and create a culture that they can aspire. Okay, well, how do I start up a company? Hang out with people who are business owners, learn from them. Okay, well, how do I hang out with business people? Go out there and be courageous to introduce yourself to a high-level business person and be humble. We sometimes think that we have to know all the answers. I view life as I'm just a student. And if you were to, I should have answered your original question, like, how would you describe yourself? I would have said I'm a student because all I want to do is just learn. Like yourself with this podcast, you just want to learn from people. And when we can put our ego aside, the stuff we can learn is incredible. So when I was in my mid 30s and 40s, I started to really, I tried to humble myself. But prior to that, I thought success was the car you drive, the house you live, the watch you wear, the clothing you have. All of that stuff, it doesn't mean anything.
Give us a glimpse of what you had before in terms of materially. Or maybe you still have it now.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of it. It's interesting. It's actually, I'm quite shy talking about it. But there was one post in my social media. I believe in energy. I believe there's, you can manifest. I'm a very big fan of manifestation, laws of attraction. That stuff exists. Scientifically, it exists. I remember when I was younger, I said, I want to drive a white Bentley Continental GT. You know, it's a $100,000 car or something like that. And I wrote a letter to myself. I said, by this time, you're going to accomplish this, this, and this. 10 different things. I looked back maybe a few years later and I said, oh man, I never ended up buying that Bentley. But I looked outside. I got 5 luxury cars on my driveway. They're all white. And if I added them together, they're worth more than the Bentley many times over. And I said, okay, so I acquired stuff, like pretty high-end cars. I was walking around wearing suits that are worth sometimes how much people make in 1 month. I was, I had watches that as a down payment for a house. Like, these are things that I'm not saying this to be mayabang. I'm saying this is coming from a man who had massive insecurity and thought that his worth as a man was to be this image of a guy who's successful. But that is not the level of success. So I had a multi-7-figure portfolio, had multiple businesses, like multiple different luxury cars, living in one of the best neighborhoods, very nice neighborhood. I currently live in a very nice neighborhood, one of the more affluent neighborhoods in Calgary. And I married the daughter of a prominent doctor here. On the surface, wow, pretty nice life. But you dig deep there. That's just surface stuff, and you start to realize that's not what made me happy. So recently, we sold a lot of our stuff. Right? I'm fine. I'm fine wearing things that are just. I don't remember the last time I wore a high-end suit. It feels weird now. It's not me. And I find wealth is your connections with people, right? Your connections with your audience, your family. As my parents are getting older, do I have a relationship with my parents? Have we asked our parents, get to know their life? We're so focused on ourselves that I think it's important to understand their life. They want to be heard too. So yeah, I lived a really good life. It was multiple 7-figure portfolio, multiple properties. I traveled everywhere around the world, like countless countries. I've flown first class. I would trade all of that in, right, to spend more time with my family. Oh, you're getting me. It's too early.
Where do you get the courage to do things? It's pretty scary to risk a lot of things. There must be a lot of fear that you face.
Yeah. There are moments in life where we don't have confidence in ourselves. And I think if you surround yourself around people who believe in you more than you believe in yourself at that time, it's like that cheerleader. My mother was that person. So when I applied for when I applied for the first vice president job, I just wanted to see. I want to know what questions they ask. I passed the first interview, then the second interview. There's four levels. By the third interview, I said, Mom, I got up to the third interview. I kind of know what skills my shortcomings are. My mom said to me, she goes, you're going to get the job. And mind you, this is a very lucrative job, more money than I've ever made in my entire life. I said, I don't know. She goes, just do your best. So my mother gave me the courage that I needed. And I eventually got the job. And one thing I realized was we get caught up in fear. And I always said fear stands for false evidence appearing real, FEAR. False evidence appearing real. We often do things, I don't want to fly because the plane's going to crash. I don't want to drive or because I don't want to walk across the street because a car is going to hit me. We deprive ourselves of the best version of our life by being scared. So faith over fear. You hear this all the time. You have to have faith over fear. And I would say most people are paralyzed by things that never happen, right? We are scared. We allow things that never happen to dictate our life. So I got a little bit more courageous. I started businesses. I failed many times, many times. And even going to the Philippines, I was scared because my dad said, "Oh, they're dangerous there. They're going to rob you. They're going to benta you. Don't go there. Don't speak. Have a handler." That's not. You go to the Philippines now, and you're a foreign direct investment. For the most part, they welcome you. Just be kind. Be a nice person. Don't be abusive.
Is it your mom who's the most courageous person you know?
Yeah, she's a remarkable person. This lady, she's endured a lot, but she continues to show up. And it's how you show up in life.
Yeah.
How do you show up? We're all going to die. And people will say, how did you show up every single day? Were you kind to people? Did you add value? And I always ask myself, am I a net giver versus a net taker? When I die, was the world better that Michael Siervo was born? Is the world better that CHERIE is born? Or is it better that this person took more? I don't want to be that person. And my mother is like that. First time I learned about philanthropy. And the reason why I get emotional is because when you're younger, you don't realize the impact they have. You don't realize.
Yeah,
That's true. I accomplished all this on my own. No, you didn't. You did it because your parents instilled values and traits that allow you to become who you are. So she's a very generous woman. And I took on that hopefully, the generosity and goal of philanthropy and giving back. And what you focus on expands. So if you focus on giving, that expands. When you focus on hanging around with good people, well, that expands. People in my circle are good people. But if you focus on your shortcomings, that becomes amplified. You start to become less confident. My mother never did that. Never.
Now I'm curious about your mom. I really
interesting
want to meet her.
lady. Oh, I could talk about this entire podcast. I could tell you her life. Very interesting lady.
And you are also, apart from reconnecting with the Philippines, you said you're using these years in your life to really connect with your parents and take care of them.
Yes, yeah. It's one thing, and not all parents, it shouldn't be a sense of entitlement, right? I'm taking care of my parents not because I have to, I want to, right? Sometimes we will be a burden to somebody. I will be a burden to somebody. I don't have children. Right? My wife and I'm going to get old. Someone will have to take care of me. I see my dad who has dementia. And it's sad. The other day, CHERIE, he didn't know who I was. You know what? This guy was my coach for Little League Baseball, drove me to school every day. Wasn't always the greatest father, wasn't always the greatest husband. And as a man, I'm not perfect either. But he showed up. He tried his best. And you see the decline of what used to see as a strong man to a very fragile man. And how I view it is, I can't believe I'm opening up so much. I look at my father and there's always going to still be respect. We might not have agreed on a lot of things, but I'm who I am. There's an influence behind it. I'm who I am because there's an influence on my parents.
And they did their best way,
They did their best.
The way they thought it was.
No one was given a handbook.
Yeah.
Like our
Even-
parents'
yeah.
generation. There was no social media. There's no.
Well, even until
group.
now, I don't think we still know what we're doing as parents, but we
still,
try.
Yeah. I
We
still
try,
don't know what I'm
right?
doing. I'm still learning.
Mm-hmm.
And when we relinquish that idea that we have to know everything,
Mm-hmm.
that's when true humility comes. You're like, I'm a student. I could learn. And I mentioned that I have a lot of mottos. One of the acronyms I talked about was FAIL. So they say, oh, Mike, I've failed a lot. Trust me. And I appreciate the very colorful introduction is really good. But there's behind that a lot of failure, tons. An acronym I've always used is FAIL, and it stands for FAIL, found another important lesson, right? If you fail and you don't see a lesson behind it, it's a waste, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I fail, I will become smarter. So you have to have the confidence to fail fast, fail as fast as you can, recover
Rise up quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I don't mean for this to be a motivational podcast, but I'm very passionate about this because I think we're in a generation now where sometimes we lack heroes, right? We don't have, who's a role model? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Who the people we look up to in social media? Who are our role models?
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, our first role models, our first superheroes are our parents. Right?
Mm-hmm.
There's something there. We should go find it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They need to know that. Our parents need to know.
It's because I'm like a whole decade older than you, but
No, we're in the same
at least,
generation.
but like for a lot of us, no, in the age of like maybe 40s, even up to 60s, maybe whose parents are still alive, it is again. There's no handbook in taking care of your parents,
Yeah.
and sometimes it comes as a shock, or people get lost into how am I gonna do this?
Mhm.
Or some people are even, I don't even know if I'm supposed to do this. Maybe I'm not, but then how do I deal with my guilt, my conscience? I love my parents, but I can't take care of it. I mean, all of us in that stage,
Yes.
or we're going to get there. So it's very valuable to have our own. That's why I needed to ask you that question as well, because I know that the audience can get some insights on those things as well. When you said earlier, you mentioned some things that you went through before you got to where you are now. You mentioned something about not being able to walk at an age of
Yeah.
like during your younger years. What
I was
happened then?
19 years old. I was doing a martial arts kind of training, and someone did a roundhouse kick. This is not documented much on social media because social media wasn't around that then.
Mm.
Someone did a roundhouse kick. I grabbed it. The person was 200 pounds. I weigh about 150. He fell on my knee. Now, how your knee is held in place, there are 4 different ligaments, ACL, PCL, LCL, and MCL. I tore 3 of the
Of the
4 ligaments.
Oh my gosh.
So essentially, your knee moves like this. It went this way. And so I suffered something called peroneal nerve damage, which meant I had no feeling from my left knee down. This is probably one of the most crucial pivots in my life. This is where my first bout of insecurity and depression and stuff happened. So I fell.
And at a crucial time, you were 19.
19 years old. I'm
Lots
still
of
in
things
university.
happening, yeah.
Last year of university. And I finished the last year of university on crutches. The doctor said, you'll never be able to walk again. Mr. Siervo, you will never be able to walk again. And
You'll just be able to run and fly.
Yeah. And you know what happened was, with what the mind can do, your body can heal itself. And I healed myself, right? Not fully, but I would say that I ran at my peak. I ran a mile in 6 minutes and 25 seconds, which is not elite, but it's very fit.
Mm.
Some people can't even get out of a couch.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that on one leg, kind of hobbling. It's your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a movie called Kill Bill. So the plot
think I
is
did.
Uma Thurman is this, she's trying to get vengeance on Bill.
Mm-hmm.
She's wearing an yellow jumpsuit, which looks like Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
There's a point in the movie where she can't walk. She's like sitting there, she's paralyzed. And she's like, wiggle your toes. Wiggle your toes. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I was in that position. I just look at it, I was like, "God, wiggle your toes." I kept telling myself, wiggle your toes. I'm 19, almost 20. And I saw it move. Now, in St. Michael's Hospital here in Toronto. I had surgery there, and there was like a neurologist and all this other stuff. And they said, Mr. Siervo, when your nerves expand and when they come back, you won't likely connect. So, it's like spaghetti. When the spaghetti comes back, it's probably up to here. My brain couldn't, telling my brain to move my foot, and it couldn't. All I could feel was electricity. Like the electrical charge it's firing. It's just not, it's off. But I willed myself to be able to walk. And I still have some lingering effects. I'm not 100%, which is one of the proudest moments was I was able to run. If you look on my social media, there's lots of videos of me jumping, lots. Right? And they're like, why are you always jumping? They just don't know the backstory.
They told me I couldn't.
Exactly. Right. I just do it for myself. I don't say, hey guys, I was paralyzed, but I was. Yeah. I have a handicap pass, disabled pass. I never used it. So I will not allow that identity. I will not allow that badge, because if I allow that to become part of my identity, then my mind and my body will say, yeah, you are handicapped. I'm like, no, I'm not. Some people have glasses. They can't see. That's a handicap. They're functioning. Some people are short. That's a handicap. They can't reach on the top shelf. You just have to adapt.
Right.
And that's what I did. Yeah, it was a very difficult time though. Yeah.
How long did that difficult stage last?
The doctor said if your nerves don't grow back after 18 months, you'll likely, the repercussions or the outcome is for life. So around 18 months, it was still bad, but slightly, maybe 17, maybe 19th or 20th month, I kept doing this like wiggle your toes, and it worked. I was just gonna say, when you're going through life and turmoil, you're never going to be 100% after some struggle. It's up to you. Like there's a beautiful Japanese art where you take a broken a vase and then you put it together. It's never the same, but it's actually more beautiful broken. I felt the same way. For years, I was insecure. One of my left legs is like slightly smaller than the other one. It's like, oh man, insecure. Didn't wear shorts for many years. And now, because I've embraced fitness and health, I look okay. I feel good. I'm in the best shape I can. Yeah.
You think that's when it started?
Yeah. Yes. I think when I was 21, I was going through some tough times. I got into a job. I'm trying to think chronologically what happened. I got into my first corporate job. My girlfriend, who's now my wife, broke up with me for the very first time.
So you met around the time you were 21?
We've been together for more than 20 years. A friend of mine introduced me to Tony Robbins. Who's Tony Robbins? Self-development, corny. I attended my very first personal self-help, and then I discovered books like Think and Grow Rich, by Napoleon Hill, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And then I started to read things, and where focus goes, energy flows. And I truly believe that impact is personal self-help. If you watch enough content that's negative, you become negative. So going through those early struggles helped me overcome when I hit other struggles, like losing 7 figures. That was hard. It's like I lost my life savings. Holy crap. What am I going to do? I'll tell you one thing, Cherrie, that I tell this to a lot of people. We have 100% success rate, meaning we have survived 100% of the worst days that we've ever gone through. We've survived. You and I are still here. Whatever happened, the worst that could ever have happened in our life today, we've survived it. Why stop now? Why stop? Just going to get hard, but you start to develop this resiliency.
It's a matter of perspective, no?
Yeah.
Never thought of it that way. But yeah, speaking of challenges, did you ever feel underestimated because you didn't look like the typical decision maker in the room?
Yeah. 2008, I was in that role. And what happened was, this is at the early stages of social media. So if I rewind back, I used to be a magician during...
You were a magician?
I was a DJ and a magician.
Oh, wow.
Primarily just to meet girls. But I was a magician. One thing I learned about magic was misdirection. I used to be up on stage speaking, talking about the economy, but I looked naturally, I just looked younger for my age. And I remember walking up on stage, and this is 2010 actually. They introduced me as, oh, this is Michael Siervo, District Vice President of the company. And I heard in the front row, someone says, oh, wow, they're just giving away titles. You hear it.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Excuse
and he's
me.
like, matanda siya. He's like Caucasian guys. Oh man, like this is how they view me. I bought the iPad Generation 1. So this is the big heavy one.
Yeah.
So I knew misdirection. I bought it before it ever came out. I ordered it. So I'm up on stage having this new technology, this swiping away. Whether I made mistakes, they forgot what I said, but they said, oh, who's this young guy with a weird technology? They branded me as this guy who's just future thinking. So I got early into social media in that time. And I was very cutting edge. I got into branding, vlogs, YouTube before my industry got into it. But for many years, I didn't feel like I was good enough because I heard that. And it brought me back to where I was when I was a child. Hindi siya like us. Right? I was like, oh man, again, what do I have to do?
Yeah.
Never good enough.
Yeah.
You just have to fight through it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was a crazy one. I forgot about that story.
Wow. And you were brilliant at sales, but then it's the North American environment. How was it like?
I remember this. Downtown Toronto, there's a restaurant. I don't think it's around anymore. It's called Elephant Castle and Elephant or Elephant Castle.
I think I was just there yesterday. Is this in King Street?
Yeah, King Street.
It's still there. I was there yesterday.
So I was there. I had a meeting. I'm doing my presentation to this high net worth guy, and he keeps staring at me. And 20 minutes in, I'm starting to think, is there kulangot in my nose? Why is he staring at me? And he said, you know what, Mike? Your English is perfect. I said, okay, I'm born here. He goes, no, I'm looking at you, but your English is perfect.
Oh my God.
And so I was like
there's a disconnect in his
disconnect
brain.
here. No matter how well versed or intelligent I was at the time,
You were being judged by how you
they will judge you. I think it's important for people, whether they're climbing the corporate ladder, is to establish your brand. Your brand, Jeff Bezos says this. He says, your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Like, be cognizant of this. Don't say negative things because that could go somewhere else. Who knows? But it was a tough time. I felt insecure for many, many years. And as much and passionate I am about life, wasn't always like that. I had to go through a lot of demons, right? And they say the best warrior is the one with the most scars.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Are you comfortable to talk about maybe a low point in your life?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I'll talk about it. There was a point in time when I was riding really high, very high, and life was good. Economically, socially, well respected among a lot of different organizations and people in the community. I was considered a community leader. And because I was focusing so much on the material side of things, other aspects of my life was falling apart, mainly my marriage, right? Because you're focusing on this. And you're neglecting one aspect of it. I made some poor decisions because I just wasn't around, right? And our marriage suffered. And then this is probably the second lowest among, I would probably say the lowest. The first one was when I was disabled, got through that quickly. This one was, honestly, Cherry, there were moments when I said, is this worth it? Like, let's press the reset button, start all over.
Yeah.
Because I lost the love of my life. Thankfully, with grit and determination and humility, you come back and you become like, what kind of man would deserve the kind of woman that she is? And as men, we need to do that. It's not entitled. Same thing with women. If you want to get a 10 out of 10 wife, be a man that deserves a 10 out of 10 woman.
Exactly. Yeah,
like, don't expect your wife
to work.
It takes work. And I would say that my wife and I have really looked in the mirror and said, am I worthy of you? Are you worthy of me? And if not, how can we help each other become worthy of each other? So now this journey, you're together versus let's become two individual people that hopefully it works out. Hopefully we're working under the same umbrella in the same household. But sadly what happens is people get married and they just become, they're living under the same roof, like roommates. My wife is my best friend, right? And there's no way that I would have gotten to where I am if it wasn't for two amazing women, my wife and my mom. We live in a world where we're attacking masculinity, femininity, you know, oh, I'm a woman, I don't need a man. And a man is like, no, screw that. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be a playboy, chick boy. You need to find a way, even internally, embrace your feminine side, which is your kindness, your empathy, embrace the masculine side. You need both of those. These are hermetic principles that you need. And I think society needs to get back to those traits. So that, in a long-winded way, my marriage fell apart. This is at the same time I lost 7 figures. I lost a lot of money because when your marriage is falling apart, your decisions are poor. People don't want to do business with you because he's failing in businesses.
Yeah, it's a whole energy now that you create for yourself.
And then I remember telling myself, I said, okay, what is the lesson that this is trying to teach me? And what came out was humility. You have to have faith. You have to be humble. I built a stronger relationship with my Creator. You know, born and raised Catholic, but was forced into it. Yeah, go to church.
Yeah.
I didn't really believe. You're just saying the things, being there, but thinking about other things. And when you're present, just like a marriage, just like a friendship, when you are present, how you show up with your relationship with God, with your friends, with your family, how you do the little things is how you do the big things. And it slowly you start to stack wins. Okay, I woke up early today. Okay, cool. I worked out. Start to stack these victories. Then you feel good about yourself. That was a difficult time. I'm surprised I actually opened up about that. I usually am quite private about that.
Appreciate
I think,
that.
yeah.
Because being in a marriage, it's another whole conversation on its own because we see what's on the surface. We see, they're a couple, maybe they look like a happy family. And of course, you're the ones who are the steward of that family, the mother and the father, at least in a traditional setup. But there's so much that's going on in the dynamics of that marriage. And when you go through, you've been married 20 years?
We've been together for more than 20 years.
More than 20
Married
years.
Under 20 years. Like 20, maybe 23 years we've been together. Married for, I think, 18. We were dating for 5 years. So together, 23 years. Yeah.
So when you've been together that long, there are certain points when you consciously choose to still be with this person. There would be times when you'll be questioning, why am I spending my years with this person? You will come to that point when you're married after 2-3 decades. And there's a lot of dynamics, especially with, I'm just thinking of the Filipinos who move here, for example. There's that added pressure of having to immigrate, having to adjust in another country, and then you find yourself, and then he finds himself. You're two separate beings, and then you're also one entity. And there's a lot of dynamics that's going on in there.
This is the movie Hello, Love Again. Hello, Love, Goodbye.
Is this a Tagalog film?
This is a Tagalog movie.
Yeah,
Kathniel Bernardo and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Oh, wow, you're updated.
Like proud na maging isang Pilipino. Right?
Galing na mag-Tagalog, right?
But you're so spot on, especially with the family reunification programs. And oftentimes it's the wife that moves out and is a caregiver living in Canada. Their family's there. You're drifting apart. Long distance relationship. Decisions are made. Sometimes the wrong decisions because there's some loneliness. Like it's hard. Being married, adulting is hard.
Adulting is hard. That's true.
But worth it. My wife and I are always trying to, there's a thing that I would say, and I'm not a marriage counselor at all, but I would confidently say I've succeeded in marriage, but I'm not a marriage counselor. I believe that there's a secret in marriage. Opposites attract sometimes, right? Oh, this person's so different. I'm very intrigued. Opposites attract. But eventually they will repel each other because there's nothing in common. Opposites attract. People who are so related, they will be attracted because like, oh, wow, this is my kindred spirit. You're my soulmate. They will repel each other because oftentimes there's a fight for the dominant alpha position. It's just, you're too alike. I would never want to marry a girl like me. Never. I'm too high strung. I'm too out there. And so they will repel. Now, my wife and I focus on something called optimal mismatch, right? So
Optimum mismatch.
optimal mismatch.
Optimal mismatch.
We are mismatched. We're different, but just enough. Like our view on family is aligned. Our view on faith is aligned. Our view on health and fitness is aligned. But if she wants to watch, RuPaul's Drag Queen on television, and I want to watch the sports channel, that's okay. It's not a make or break. So you're mismatched to a certain extent, but you're still moving in tandem in the right direction versus complete mismatch. That's what happens when you're
Right. And that's a choice. And when you choose to do something, then you consciously work to make it work.
Yeah.
Right?
I think, Cherry, one of the things I found is just be interested in the other person. I'm interested in my wife. How's your day? How's your day?
Yeah.
Just be interested, right? And just be excited for them. Be excited that they're on their own personal journey. My wife she's a complete opposite from me. She's an extroverted, interesting lady. And I'm out there, right? I'm very passionate about what I do, and she's more reserved. But she's on her own journey, and I'm on my own journey. And she'll say, "How are you doing? How's your day?" How often does a husband message their wife randomly, say, "How was your day?"
And genuinely
Yeah.
want to listen,
Of course.
want to hear what they have to say, right?
Marriage is challenging.
Oh, yeah.
Marriage is challenging.
For sure. But it's still worth it. Like one of those things that are still very much worth it, right?
As a man, the best investment ever was investing in a relationship and a spouse.
Who was that wise businessman who said that one of the best business decisions you can do is number one is choosing your partner?
100%. I don't remember who it was, but you're right. I heard it before. That's a huge one because that's what you come home to. If you come home to a negative household, it's going to impact the rest of your life. You'll have resentment. I'm excited to see my wife. I'm so excited. Actually, I haven't seen her in a month because I've been here.
Yeah? Oh, because she's in Iloilo.
Oh, no, she's in Calgary right now.
Oh, she's in... Okay, so you are based in Calgary. You have a house in Calgary, but your parents are here in
Toronto.
Scarborough,
Yep.
in Toronto. So you spend most of your time here also when you're in Canada with your parents?
I would say I spend half of my life in Calgary. The other half is split between Toronto and Philippines and vacation and travel.
Okay.
So I would say 6 to 7 months of the year we live in Calgary, which is beautiful. You should visit one day. Have you been?
Yeah. Just to Banff, and
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Very majestic.
But I was a visitor. We do have a friend, a very good friend, very nice guy, very beautiful family who lives in Calgary. One of these days,
It's an
we do want to
amazing
visit them.
place.
Yeah.
It is so welcoming, and it reminds me kind of like the Philippines. I'll tell you one story. It was Thanksgiving, my first Thanksgiving. I was by myself, or one of the first Thanksgiving. I was by myself. My wife was still here, she was my girlfriend or fiance at the time. And I was in line. I was buying chicken, the ready-made chicken. And someone said, "Hey, what are you doing? What do you got?" "Yeah, it's a nice chicken." I go, "Yeah, it's just by myself. I'm here Thanksgiving by myself." And the guy behind me, who happens to be a Filipino guy, his name is Alan Key. So Alan, if you're watching, thank you. Alan Key said, "You're spending Thanksgiving by yourself? Why don't you come over?" It's like, that doesn't happen. Like
you're
what if I'm
just in the
crazy?
grocery getting
I'm just getting
chicken.
gonna eat by myself. That warmth is something that comes with Filipinos. I think there is a hospitality inherently is with the Filipino culture. You go to the Philippines and they will make sure you're fed, invite you to their house, sing karaoke.
I'm still kind of missing that warmth. I'm
Really?
here 5 years. I spent most of my life, 90% of my life in the Philippines. I've just been in Canada for 5 years. And I miss that. I never really thought about it consciously because I grew up with it. It was something that
We take for
has
granted.
always been there. It's like the air I breathe. And then here, it's not that they're not nice. It's just not warm enough.
I would agree. I would 100% agree.
Like,
100% agree.
yeah.
Toronto, especially because it's a big city. Different mishmashes of community that they're just in their own little world.
Right.
Calgary is different. Very
Yeah?
different. Yes.
Makes me want to
You should
go
visit.
there. Somebody also told me, somebody who grew up in Nova Scotia, and he was like, "Yeah, we're different. We're different there." So I'm like, yeah, I'm looking forward to going to all these other places in Canada and just feeling that, especially in the midst of the cold.
Yeah. How was it? How was your first experience
No,
experiencing
my
winter?
parents have been living here and my sisters for a long time. So we've been visiting them.
Oh, okay.
And it just so happened that sometimes you get Christmas break in the Philippines. So that was the only time we'll visit them in the winter.
But our Christmas
we do-
is much more lame than
Oh, for
Philippines.
sure.
Like you
We
guys
don't know
start
how
in
to do
September.
Christmas
We do
here
not
in
know how to do.
Canada.
Oh man,
Yeah. Christmas is
Christmas
a
in the
Filipino
Philippines
thing.
is on another level.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy, it's noisy, it's chaotic, but
Yeah.
it's also organized chaos. But
So you missed
Yeah.
that, right?
I miss the warmth. I miss the warmth. I miss just, striking up conversations in the grocery store, or just someone in the cashier. You'll just strike up a conversation, and then after 10 minutes you're inviting each other to each
Yeah.
other's homes. It's like there's no what if I'm a killer? What if
Yeah.
I'm a
Oh, for
there's
sure.
no question of that. It's just they open their homes. But of course, cities are changing, people are changing in the busier hubs like Manila.
Mm-hmm.
You might not find that same, like before, people don't used to lock their doors, and I
Yes.
hear that about Toronto too.
Calgary,
like,
we
way
didn't.
back.
We don't lock our doors in Calgary.
Yeah.
Now we're doing it, but I think where society is going to go through a different change, where AI is going to change everything. Everyone's going to be a prompt engineer doing AI. That you will put a premium on the human connection because it's rare. This is very rare. And when you have this 1 hour or 30 minutes of time, I'm present, right? And I think people will start to value that. They will start to appreciate it because the world can become divisive. But with AI coming in, I think that the human-centric environment is one that's going to succeed. Events, parties, karaoke, all those things that we as Filipinos have been doing for many, many years. The one thing that's interesting with Filipinos, we call ourselves courtesy cousins. I don't know if you have that. Yeah,
for sure.
It's like, oh, you're
We're all,
Filipino,
like,
hey cousin.
related to each other somehow.
Courtesy, ate, kuya. It's
Uncle,
such an
everyone's
endearing trait that I don't know if it's uniquely to Filipinos, but it's something I absolutely love with our culture. I love it. I hope Canadian-born Filipinos embrace that warmth,
Right.
because that is what's going to separate us as humans in a very digital world. And that's just going to get harder and harder to empathize, connect.
This is very interesting. I do want to hear more of your take on that, on AI and how.
Oh, yeah.
So because it's a good, now that it's been evolving and we know a little bit more about it than we did like 5 years ago when it was a very scary thought that AI was taking over everything. It's going to be more intelligent than all of us. It'll just decimate all of us if it wanted to. It had that choice. But like, it's nice to hear your thoughts about it, because for a time I was scared for artists. I was scared for creators. I still am a little bit, but I would like to believe that that they will still survive and hopefully rule the world. I want artists and creators to rule the world because they have the heart. There's a story in Nepal now that a rapper might be the head of state after.
Wow.
He's a young guy, but as a rapper, as a music artist, he's been expressing what the sentiments of the population are. And then we know that the Ukrainian leader was an actor.
Donald Trump was a businessman / TV personality. Philippines, same thing. We've had a lot of previous actors.
Yeah. And before it was, the connotation was, you don't belong there. Politics doesn't belong to artists. But there's a change in the way even Harvard scientists were looking at artists, and they're saying that we need creative people, creative solutions to problems.
I think I agree with you. It is a threat. I think AI is not going to replace humans. It will replace humans who don't have AI. And I think the biggest challenge we're going to have is lack of purpose. Because whether or not there's universal basic income, that everyone gets money, and AI is going to wipe out, they say, 70% of jobs in the next 5 years, that's a true viable situation. So I think society has to do something to protect artists, because AI can create, but it can create based off of what we've
was
fed
already
it. What was
created.
already there. It's just an iteration of what sounds really good. Artists can create amazing things. They manufacture something out of nothing. I think we're at a really pivotal time in society where anyone who wants to start a business, you could start a business. Social media is there, AI is there. AI will be the great equalizer. A poor person from the Philippines and India, as long as they have AI.
Happening now,
Yeah.
right?
So I think what we need to do with AI is give access to everyone in the world, have protectionist measures to make sure it protects the artist. But also in society, there's never a situation, we are going to have super intelligence. It's going to happen. We will have artificial general intelligence, then eventually super intelligence, which means that this intelligence will be smarter than us. There's nowhere in nature where an inferior or an non-intelligent, a less intelligent species controls a more intelligent, except one, a mother and a child. The baby is less intelligent, cries, the mother does whatever it wants to do. So I think the solution is somehow program a nurturing system within AI that it really does view humans as their children. This is a really controversial thought. That's the only way that I could see in society or in nature where a less intelligent being controls a more intelligent. Maybe the other one could be a parasite, right? But you could always kill a parasite. You're not going to kill your baby. That's another deep rabbit hole we can go down.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, just before we wrap up, I want to ask some quick questions with just like quick answers, whatever is the first thing that comes to your mind.
Rapid fire, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think is your best quality now?
Kindness.
Which personal trait did you work the hardest to develop?
Confidence.
Which trait do you still want to have?
Foresight.
Which should you have? Foresight.
Yes.
What trait would you never want to have?
Jealousy.
If you could snap your fingers and instantly gain one skill, what would it be?
My ability to learn anything fast.
What's the best thing a person with 10 million US dollars could do?
Do something that would better the world rather than themselves.
Okay, what are the top 3 things a financially challenged person should be doing or thinking about doing first? 3 things.
Good question, actually. Number 1, live within your means. Live less than what you make. Save minimum 20% of what you make. And understand the psychology of money. Why do you purchase the things that you do? Right? Sometimes it's trying to fill a loophole or trying to fill an insecurity. So understand, why do you do it? Question, like, do I need this? Why am I doing this? Those are 3. There's a lot, but I would say those are 3 to pop into my head.
What are the 3 things that pop into your head that a Filipino-Canadian, or even maybe just a Canadian, do or visit in the Philippines?
Oh, wow. So
I know that's a lot.
many.
I
Wow.
know that's a lot.
If I could live in the Philippines full time, I would be living in the Philippines full time. I would say, if you're in the Philippines, go island hopping. Number 1, there's 7,140 islands, something like that. I mean, it's incredible. And each island has its own culture. So visit them, because within one country, you could visit so many different ecosystems and culture. That's number 1. Island hop. Eat where the locals eat. Don't stay at a hotel. Eat where the locals eat. Eat kamayan. Do burro fight. Eat fresh from the sea. The other one is, if you are Canadian and non-Filipino speaking, is try to learn a couple of words. You would be surprised how much they welcome you when you at least try to speak their language. Because certainly Filipinos, when they speak English, they say, "Oh, nosebleed," right?
Yeah.
You're in their country. If you go to the Philippines, try your best. Right?
Very good. What's your favorite food with no health considerations?
Oh, wow. With no health consideration.
Yeah.
My instinct,
Take it out of your
my instinct is to
just for taste, just for the
my
flavor.
instinct is to say kare kare.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think kare kare,
You like
old
the
school.
bagoong in it?
Yeah, old school style with tripe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try
I
lots
love
of
the
peanut
texture
butter.
of tripe.
Yeah, it's different.
Read or sleep?
Read.
Read or watch a movie?
Read.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Do you have one?
Yes.
Okay. Film at home or in a cinema?
At home.
Fly or go on a cruise or sail?
Fly.
What's in your nightstand?
Oh, books. Yes.
Big reader.
Lots of books. Yes.
Pet peeve?
Mayabang. Right? It's too much. Yeah.
Guilty pleasure?
Ice cream, sweets. I have a sweet tooth.
Yeah?
Yes.
What do you find attractive in a person?
I find confidence. Yeah. I'm someone who takes themselves seriously. Kindness and confidence is really attractive to me. You could be a beautiful person, but if you're not kind, you're ugly to me.
Same. I'm just amazed with how much similarity we have. Okay, so is there one thing about you that maybe even the closest people don't know about
Oh,
or misunderstands about you?
I am. I massively project sometimes high expectations on myself and other people, and sometimes I need to pare that back. But as confident as I can portray myself, there are moments of self-doubt. I think the number one salesperson in the world is doubt. 24/7, selling you the same thing over and over and over. You shouldn't do this podcast. You shouldn't wear this shirt. You shouldn't talk to that girl. Doubt, that self-doubt is one thing I've struggled with my entire life. And it's just getting better. The voice is getting quieter and quieter, right? But people would think, oh, he's super confident. I'm like, really? I'm prepping myself in the washroom before I jump on the podcast to make sure I add value to this.
You definitely did. And on that note, Michael, thank you so much for guesting on the podcast. I know you have a flight to catch.
Yes.
And thanks for giving this time to be with us today. If there's anything else that you want to say or leave a message to our audience, we're giving the floor to you.
No, you know what I would say is that you have one life to live, right? Live it to the fullest, regardless of what other people think and feel about you. We tend to put so much value on people who will not matter, right? But like, value yourself, see your true worth, see your true value. And the best version of yourself is the most disciplined version of yourself, right? Lock into your discipline. That is the best version of yourself.
Ang hirap niyan, disiplina.
I know, it's hard.
Nobody said it was going to be easy, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's
and
why
what's
it's the
life
best
without
version.
a challenge? It might as well be a challenge that's going to make you a better you.
Exactly. And I would also say that just everyone is on their own journey. Everyone is fighting a battle we know nothing about.
Right.
Just be a little bit kinder to people. I think that's what's lacking in society. We lack that. Kindness, humility. Yeah. This is the more human-centric connection we can make with people. But no, thank you. And congratulations to your accolades. Welcome to Canada. 4 years late by saying it, but welcome. And
but I appreciate it.
I appreciate
so
this.
Glad to know you, to have known you.
This
and
has
to have
been a
spoken
blast
to you today.
I don't know if you noticed, I speak very fast because it was such a great conversation. I enjoyed it, and I was trying to get as much out as possible.
Michael has his own podcast, so he knows what goes on in a podcast. He has his own production company. So maybe you can check him out after this interview. Thank you again, Michael.
Thank you.
And have a great flight. Enjoy the Philippines once again.
Yes.
And I hope to see you when you get back to Canada or sometime soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And that ends our podcast for today. We'll see you again in our next episode. This has been CHERIE Mercado. Thank you so much.